right, now we're going to talk about DNA viruses that cause problems for us humans. They are the smallest parasites, and of course, you remember they either have DNA or RNA, and they're surrounded by a protein coat. They're obligate intracellular parasites where they enter a cell and take over the genetic and molecular machinery and start making and releasing new viruses. The DNA viruses are all double-stranded except for the parvovirus, which is a single-stranded DNA, and all of the RNA viruses are single-stranded except for one of the reoviruses that's double-stranded. This is a list in this table of all the DNA viruses that are human pathogens. I want you to notice the virus name and then notice some of the problems that they cause, like smallpox, oral herpes, chickenpox, shingles, infectious mononucleosis, genital herpes, jaundice, hepatitis, conjunctivitis, colds, warts, genital warts. Medically, they are limited to a particular or specific host or cell type. Most of the DNA viruses are bud off the nucleus, and most of the RNA viruses multiply in and are released from the cytoplasm. As far as the infections, it ranges from asymptomatic to mild to life-threatening, and most viruses are strictly human in origin, but there are some that are zoonoses that are transmitted by vectors. Now, they will invade at a portal of entry and cause a primary infection. Some of them replicate locally, others enter circulation and infect other tissues. There could be rashes, fever, muscle aches, respiratory involvement, and swollen lymph nodes. And your body fights them with interferon, antibodies, and cytotoxic T cells. And a lot of times after having a virus and fighting it off, you get lifelong immunity. Many viral infections are very rapid. They have a lytic cycle and they're virulent. Some of them, however, are long-term and persistent and last years to a lifetime. The persistent infections can be chronic, where they multiply at a slow rate, and the symptoms are mild or absent totally, or latent, where after the lytic cycle they go into the dormant prophage phase, and they aren't detected, but they can reactivate. The diseases, sometimes those that are persistent are oncogenic, and some of them can cross the placenta and cause problems. To diagnose them, you look at the symptoms. You're going to isolate them in the cell or animal culture. You're going to use different serological tests for antibodies and some tests for antigens. The animal viruses are categorized by their nucleic acid core. Are they DNA viruses or RNA viruses? By their capsid, and do they have an envelope or not? The DNA viruses that cause human diseases can be enveloped, non-enveloped, or non-enveloped single-strand DNA viruses. The enveloped viruses are the pox viruses, and they cause these eruptive skin pustules that are called pox that leave scars. And they have this is the largest genome of all viruses. It's double-stranded DNA. And it's very specific for the cytoplasm of epidermal cells and subcutaneous connective tissue. The first disease to be eliminated by vaccination was smallpox, and it is transmitted by inhalation or skin contact. And you're going to have fever and malaise and a rash. And there's two forms. There's variola major. It's highly virulent, causes toxemia, intravascular coagulation, and shock. And then the other form is variola minor, that's less virulent. The vaccine uses a single drop of the virus that's punctured into the skin with a double-pronged needle. And routine vaccinations ended in 1972. They thought it had been eradicated, but they reintroduced it for military and medical personnel in 2002. Which of the following is not a structure of a virus? The RNA ribosomes.